Hi, everyone. This is really, really weird. I had problems uploading my video from yesterday. It was supposed to hit at around 6 p.m. and I had to go somewhere. And I thought it was scheduled. I thought everything was fine. I get back at like 10 p.m. and it's still stuck on upload. But there's been an arrest made in this case already. I knew it. I did predict that early yesterday morning when I was recording my other one. So let's get to this police conference. Somebody recognized these guys, obviously.
Good afternoon. I'm Caroline Collins. Right now, Houston police are providing an update into their investigation into the death of a 12-year-old girl. Jocelyn Nungaray was found dead in a creek in North Houston early Monday morning. Let's listen in on that update.
Before we get started,
we're good, Victor?
everybody good?
Everybody good?
Mic checks and everything, we're all good, right?
All right. Good afternoon. On Monday, the mayor and I and our homicide stood in front of you and asked for and delivered some really tragic news of a little girl who was tragically murdered. And we asked for your help. Her name was Jocelyn Nungaray, and she was 12 years old. We started to work, and we've been working around the clock since that time, trying to find out what happened to her and who was responsible and to get them off the street. I want to thank our homicide team, our North Belt crime suppression teams, our gang division, our SWAT team, and Metro PD, who all came together as we looked for the guys that did this, the suspects in this horrible murder. And we were all out there. In fact, the mayor was with me on Tuesday night late as we were going through and looking to see if we could find anything else. And the teams were out there and they were scouring every potential video feed, and they were talking to everybody possible that might have seen something or heard something. And their hard work paid off because we were able to find video and trace the movements of our suspects and of Jocelyn, and all the way to the point of where she was murdered and left in a bayou in the water. So that's the hard work that they did. We asked for the public's help, and the public came through too. People stepped up, people called, and we are still asking for more help from the public, for anybody that might have seen something or might know something, however small, to reach out to us. And I'll have homicide give you the numbers. Lieutenant Hope will give you the numbers on who to call for that. You can even call anonymously, but we really need all the help from all the public and to make sure that we have the very best solid case so these individuals do not get released back into the field, back into the public where they could hurt other people. So that is my ask of you. About an hour ago, I talked to Miss Nungaray, Jocelyn's mother, Alexis. And she's been very brave, but she is still devastated. Her little girl's gone. And now they're trying to figure out how to take care of her and to arrange funeral arrangements and try to heal for something you really can't heal from. And we understand that because many of us have kids and cannot imagine the pain that they're going through. So I ask you to still pray for them immensely. They're going through a really trying time. And as Houstonians and this public, I know that we have fantastic people here. Keep praying for the Nungaray family. I want to turn it over to the mayor to make a few comments. And then followed by that, we'll have Lieutenant Hope to give you more details on the investigation and how it's played out thus far, things that we can share. But please understand there are still things we cannot share for the purposes of the investigation. I know you all understand that. And then we're going to deliver this in Spanish with Commander Garcia, who will offer comments in Spanish, and then we'll take questions from there. So with that, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. I'm here because of the seriousness of this case and my personal interest. As the mayor as a grandfather and a father, it doesn't get any worse. I'm here primarily, though, to emphasize 3 points. Our condolences to the family. When I spoke to Ms. Nungaray about an hour ago, she was at the funeral home. I'm concerned about their economic circumstances, and also to let them know that all of Houston, all the investigators, their neighbors, the retail merchants in the area, everyone that came forward with information. As the chief mentioned, I was there night before last. This North Belt crime suppression group, you don't want to mess with them. They were out on the streets, going up and down every street in every direction from the incident and the scene of the crime. I've watched homicide work around the clock all night long. I've seen SWAT show up to make certain that they were apprehended properly. So the first thing I want to emphasize is the condolences. The family, as the chief said, is devastated. I've spoken with an uncle. If you just put yourself in their place, they don't know which way to turn. They have very limited resources, but they're strong, they're brave. The mother just wants to see her baby. Hasn't been able to examine the body due to the investigation, but she's making arrangements as we talk. Number 2, and I just touched on it briefly, but I want to expound on it. The police work. I want Houstonians to know, be proud and excited about your police department. The men and women go to work, they have families, but they are so passionate about their work, so professional. And it does aggravate me when some sources say, we've got to restore our confidence in the police. No, the confidence is there. I've witnessed it. I'm sharing it with Houstonians. All the resources necessary, collaboration, the scene of the crime. And we're seeing the result of this hard, old-fashioned police work using social media, new technologies, but also just footwork and collaboration, language skills. You couldn't be more proud of the police department, and we're seeing living evidence of it as I stand before you. And number 3, I want to reach out to the court system, the justice system. We're going to be watching you. The arrest has taken place. The charges have been filed. Now we want the justice system to do its job. If there was ever a circumstance where you do not give someone bail, this is it. There are circumstances allowed that you can prevent bail. Take in consideration flight risk. Take in consideration the severity of this crime. So I'm going to be monitoring the court system. I want these suspects to have their day in court. I want to be held accountable, and I want it done sooner than later. That said, I'll yield to Lieutenant Hope, who has really led a very effective investigation. Thank you, sir. So you.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. Yes, ma'am. My name is Stephen Hope, Stephen. Last name Hope, Hope. So I'm here today because our team has worked tirelessly tracking evidence in this case since the discovery of Jocelyn by a citizen on the morning of June 17th, 2024. Because of the assistance of the area community and surveillance video that our officers have tirelessly tracked down and other evidentiary pieces, we have found and learned that the suspects began their evening at a Northborough area restaurant together. They left that restaurant on foot, southbound. The suspects continued south and were first seen on a camera, and those are images that we released to you, to all of you and to the public. Suspects seen meeting the victim and talking for a few minutes while they were on Kirkendall. Later, the suspects and the victim walked together to a convenience store, and those images were also released to you guys and the public. After a few minutes, all three together walked to a bridge where ultimately Jocelyn was murdered. Suspects continue south towards their residence after leaving Jocelyn there. I want to thank the media for their assistance in greatly and broadly releasing the images of the suspects. I want to thank all the witnesses who have been brave, coming forward, talking to the police, and giving us the information that we needed to identify these suspects. So that on this morning, Thursday, June 20th, officers with the Houston SWAT team, Gang Division, North Belt Division, and Homicide did a coordinated operation at 13355 Northborough Drive, the Canfield Lake Apartments. And there we were able to find the two suspects, detain them, and transport them back here to Travis for questioning. While there, CSU continued to process their location, searching for more evidence, which they have found. The suspects are now facing charges of capital murder, one being Johan Jose Rangel Martinez, the second male being Franklin Jose Peña Ramos. It's because of the hard work of my police officers, the teams, the media, and the community at large that we were able to do this. And I'm very proud of everyone who was involved. Thank you. Johan Jose Rangel Martinez, Johan Jose Rangel Martinez, and Franklin Jose Peña Ramos, Franklin Jose Ramos. And we will be updating you guys with images once the booking process is completed. Martinez is 21 years old and Ramos is 26 years old.
Wow. Well, you just heard the latest update on 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray, who was found dead earlier this week in a bayou in North Houston. We heard from the Mayor John Whitmire, and also from and they are facing capital murder charges. He spoke with Jocelyn's mother, who was at the funeral home. He said that he's very concerned about their economic situation. He really credited the police department and all the units that work together, like the homicide unit, in investigating this and tracking down the two suspects who are now in custody, 21-year-old and a 26-year-old male, and they are facing capital murder charges. I think we have some more.
PS. Muchas gracias.
We'll now take questions.
Sources describe a pretty horrendous scene, her arms and feet tied up, undressed from the bottom down. What can you tell us about this scene, and do you believe that there was a sexual assault here as well?
We're still doing a lot of that investigation. We have performed submitted for a sexual assault kit to be performed, the same kit on her. So that is still pending. And for everything else, it was a horrible scene, but in careful care of the investigation, that's as far as I'll go with it.
And then we're told that one of the suspects had possible bite marks on his neck. Any self-defense wounds? Do you believe that there was a struggle here and broken nails? So
again, at this point, there's things I can release, that we will release, and things that we won't. All of that, the condition of her, more specifically of the suspects, all of those things will come out in time. But for now, we are not confirming any details. And to be fair about what you just described, I don't have any information on that. Homicide might. But again, we're trying to make sure that we're being as careful with this investigation to get it all right. So I can't confirm anything at this time.
You said that Martinez and Ramos are Venezuelan. Can you confirm that? And what is it?
We have reached out to Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, and they are conducting that part of the investigation in terms of their status and legality here and those types of things. So I would defer to them and defer you to them for confirmation of those things.
And to be clear, were they roommates living in the same unit?
It appears that they were all residing in the same apartment, yes.
And do we know how long they have lived in the area in that particular apartment?
I don't know that for sure. We think maybe one a matter of months, but the other far less.
And Lieutenant painted a very nice picture. Thank you for that with regards to what took place to this tragic ending. But if you can you provide us exactly about how long it took from the meeting to the bridge?
Yes. So it was in the evening of the 16th that they left that restaurant. It was during the nighttime, midnight hour almost, that they were walking. And we believe that it wasn't until shortly after 1 to 2 o'clock that they were at the bridge. So it was within a span of 3-4 hours.
And was there a previous relationship between Jocelyn and these two men? How did they know each other?
So as far as we can tell right now, the communication between everyone is still a part of the investigation. We've worked really, really hard to get to this point, but a mountain of work stands before us to be able to document and look through everything that we have left.
We know that she lived in an apartment. Was it at the same complex or was it a different?
No, it was a different.
So when you mentioned that there's evidence that was found in the apartments, can you give details?
I cannot. Sorry.
Have these two been cooperative with you guys at all?
Yes, they have been talking with us, and we are taking statements and talking with them. And as soon as we're done and they are booked in, like I said, we will get the pictures to you and make sure that everything that you need.
Crack the case. Was there someone who called police?
So I'm actually really, really proud of the Houston citizens. I'm actually very proud of you guys, the media. It is all of the above, with all the effort that you guys put into getting the images of the individuals out to the public in a broad scape, with all the people who worked with us, the community members up in the Northborough area, the statements from witnesses. I can't stress enough that every piece of this was all together.
If I can follow up on that question, please, one at a time. If I can follow up on that question here, what was the threshold that was crossed to where you were able to charge them with murder?
And I have to say it's all of it together. It's the totality of every piece of the evidence together. Once it brought it all into one place, then we were able to find them, find out who they are, link them to the location and to the actual incident itself.
So no type of confession or anything like that from either one?
So the actual statements that they've made is going to be a part of the investigation, and I can't go into that.
Let's get another question on this end over here, please.
Yes.
In relation to that question, what makes it a capital murder in this case? Who's going to that?
Yes. No, actually, the age of the victim in Texas state law is all we need for it to be a capital. Under the age of 15, any murder is a capital murder.
You said the gang unit was involved. Were they just about the apprehension, or was they a part of the investigation?
So they actually assisted us greatly in reaching out with the community itself, and then also with surveillance and in the apprehension of the individuals. No, not that I know of. And that's still.
Do you actually have video of all three at the bridge? You have.
So the specifics of the actual surveillance videos, I cannot divulge at this time. I do let you know that we have evidence that compels us to believe that everyone was together throughout the entire course of this event.
The mayor had mentioned that she was on the phone with her boyfriend around midnight that night. Did he ever call police about any concerns?
Again, like all of the communication portions, electronic or digital otherwise, is all being scoured. That's part of the mountain of information that we have to still go through and document.
Have the parents of the 13-year-old been cooperative with you all?
Extremely.
We looked at some.
Couple more, guys.
That
Couple
showed
more.
an HP unit in the parking lot between the 7-Eleven and the bridge around 12:06 a.m. Monday. Was that in any relation to Jocelyn or anything related to this case?
Not that I know of.
Mayor, you mentioned keep your eye on the courts. Are you going to go to court to see?
No, I'm just simply saying that we have a justice system, and I think justice delayed is not good. So this is such an horrendous crime that I don't want to see these individuals on bond on the streets of Houston, if at all possible. We'll leave that to the judgment of the magistrate and the judges. But from my experience, capital murders in general on bond are some of our higher risk individuals, dangerous to law enforcement. When they jump bond, they know there's a warrant for their arrest. They don't want to be apprehended, and that leads to violence, not to mention the exposure to the citizens of Houston. So all I'm saying is the police are doing their job. The public's cooperated. The media's cooperated. Charges have been filed. So now let's do not delay accountability. Give them a fair trial they're entitled to, but hold them accountable by the judge in the justice system. So I will be monitoring it because in general, I'm concerned about the delay of trials in Harris County. Approximately 900 individuals are on the street of Houston today charged with murder or capital murder, waiting to go to court. And as I've said, it's one of the more dangerous profile that you could have in our community, that many of them are fugitives. We don't even know where they are. So I want to let Houstonians know I'll be monitoring the justice system as these two individuals go through it.
Could we get a date of birth on the two suspects, please?
Hmm?
Could we just get a date of birth on the two suspects?
No, just the age. I'm sorry. I just have the age.
It appears that they might have shaved their beards. Were they trying to you couldn't think they were trying to change their identity or hide their identity?
So it's often very easy for people to change the way they look. And I can't say what their intentions were in that, but
Do we know more about their background when they arrive here in the States, or
no,
cross illegally, illegally, or if there's an ICE retainer on them, or?
so no, and next, as Chief had mentioned, we reached out to HSI and we're going to let them take care of that portion of the investigation and look into it.
Chief, as you reach
Last
out,
question right here.
Chief, as you reach out to HSI, I have to ask, were they in any database of HPD already, or were they in Harris County, in the court system, or in the surrounding counties?
So I don't have that information. Do we know if they were already in our system?
I do not know.
So we could, I'd say, I don't know, and I apologize, I should know that, but what I'll do is I'll find out if they're already in our system in any way that we've been handled them before, and we'll share that.
I'd appreciate that. The other quick question on the follow-up with that is that with regards to the gang task force or the gang members of HPD, excuse me, the gang officers
Yes, sir.
in HPD that were assisting in this, do we have confirmation that these men were associated with any type of either local or Venezuelan gangs that have a presence here in Houston?
So at this moment, I have no information to suggest that and the team hasn't told me anywise different. Again, we're working with HSI, and that within time, that may be something that's occurred, that they may have affiliations, but I just can't say that for sure at this moment.
Thank you for finding out.
Yes, sir. Mhm.
Sorry, last question, Lieutenant, what is the, what restaurant did the men see at when you begin this timeline?
So I want, again, like the specifics of the incident, I want to kind of leave it to the investigation as it ongoes, and it's in the Northborough area. So it was not, everything was actually very close and on foot. Yep.
Mayor, quick one to you.
That's it. Last question, guys. And real quick, as far as booking photos and court information, once they're formally processed, we get the court assigned, you guys will get the booking photos. We'll post them to our X page.
What's the takeaway that you have, Mayor, that we've always heard about community policing, but you really had a community, from what I've been able to gather, separate from what's been confirmed here today, really step up and flood the system with tips going into last night about this?
I can assure it was, from HPD's perspective, it was all hands on deck. When I was there night before last in the parking lot, you had the HPD investigators going across that area of our community. As has been expressed by Lieutenant Hope through the media, Houstonians of all walks of life have come forward. And there's probably, listening to the officer, no one thing that made this case. It was the collaboration of the public, the media, the residents, the retail merchants. I was there when they were asked to allow HPD to view their videos. Everyone cooperated, and that's what is great about Houston. We come together during difficult times. This is a difficult time, but Houstonians ought to know they've got a police department that fights crime. The only thing this police department needs is more resources. They've got the expertise, the passion, the experience. We just need additional resources, which we'll be addressing in future days. So it's sad, it's outrageous, makes you angry, but we're going to court with these individuals and hold them accountable.
Hey, folks, thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
So I think what I'm going to do is the other video that never went in or never uploaded to YouTube properly, I'm just going to put that stuff behind this one. And if you guys want to watch, you can. I kind of feel like I was on to something with the way that I was trying to figure out their route and everything, or what had happened. So I want to show you this really quick, and keep this in mind when you go back and you look at the next piece of this, which actually was pre-recorded prior to them being caught. And then we'll get into some pictures of them as well, because I've also found some arrest photos and whatnot. Okay, so here we go to here's Rankin Road, okay? The map that we were looking at yesterday. Here's this is the intersection where there's the skate park, and then the 7-Eleven is right over here on the other side of the road. Okay, here's where those guys lived. Now, there's an apartment complex here and apartment complex here. I'm thinking she probably lived in one of these. Her family probably lives in one of these other ones. They could have run into each other walking up this way. Now, when you go and you look at it on the other map, so I'm going to go up this way a little bit, and I'm going to zoom in. Here's where she was found, the area where she was found. If they took this road, they could have run in together walking towards Rankin Road, because it did say something about they were seen walking together prior to the store. There's the store, and it said they had video of them going all the way to the bridge. This is where it got creepy. And they probably pulled her under the bridge at that point. Bless her heart. Okay, let's go to the video or the pictures of these guys. There's Jocelyn right there. Jocelyn Nungaray. There she is right there. So they've got photos of these douchebags. And it was them. The guys in the original store videos.
Jocelyn Nungaray. Only
Nungaray.
KPRC2's cameras captured a large law enforcement presence as investigators arrested them early Thursday at an apartment about a half-mile from this creek, where her body was found strangled to death early Monday.
We were able to find video and trace the movements of our suspects and of Jocelyn, and all the way to the point of where she was murdered.
Tips from the community combined with old-fashioned police work led to their capture. Investigators say they have only lived in the area for a matter of months or less.
It's the totality of every piece of the evidence together.
After the suspects visited a restaurant in the Northborough district, they are seen meeting Jocelyn on Kirkendall Road.
The suspects and the victim walked together to a convenience store, and those images were also released to you guys and the public. After a few minutes, all three together walked to a bridge where ultimately Jocelyn was murdered.
The interaction transpired over 3 or 4 hours. Investigators believe just hours after they say she snuck out of her mom's nearby apartment Sunday night. Billie Jean Jackson drove by the bridge Monday morning.
I just happened to look.
Okay, we've already seen that. Again, I've got this already covered, so you guys can go back and
on the case, now calling on the justice system to hold the accused killer.
Exactly. Now, as I'm sitting here going through the updates on this, there's some people putting some stuff out there saying that they were illegal aliens. But I don't know. Illegal migrant. The Daily Mail, Fox 26, what does the New York Daily News say? Yeah, it's not stating that. So I don't know if they are or not. Well, I've got some more video, so let's keep going.
Killers accountable.
If there was ever a circumstance where you do not give someone bail, this is it.
All right, so let's go over here to...
And tonight there are still a lot of parts of this investigation that are underway. One aspect is the digital communications. Investigators say they are still going through all of that information on the suspects' phones as well as Jocelyn's phone to find out if they had any sort of communication prior to that meeting in the overnight hours Sunday into Monday morning. And sources have told KPRC2 investigates that these suspects are Venezuelan nationals, that they have only been in the country for less than a month. Tonight, HPD officially confirming that federal investigators are now looking into their immigration status.
Yeah, still a lot to unpack here, but we first alerted you about these two men and their arrest on our Click to Houston app with a push alert. Take a look at this video. This is our exclusive video that we got earlier this morning, moments as the two men were being placed in handcuffs. And this arrest happened at an apartment complex about a half-mile away from where Jocelyn's body was found.
So really close. I mean, this neighborhood, people have been buzzing about it. We've been out here every day this week talking about this. That tip came into our newsroom around 6:30 or so this morning, and then photojournalist Roger Franco found the scene as it all unfolded to capture this video. And then by 7:50 this morning, we had word from the scene that they were in custody. HPD putting out that update just a few minutes later.
That's right. And I called Jocelyn's mother right away, letting her know, asking her if she had heard anything. She said she was so grateful that she did find out about that arrest. But she also told me that that apartment complex where the men were arrested, she doesn't live there. Jocelyn doesn't live there either. They live at apartment complex 5 minutes away from there. But she says this all still hits too close to home. So hard. Yesterday, Alexis Nungaray gave a tearful plea for information about two men wanted in connection to her 12-year-old daughter's murder.
12. I want justice. I want them to come forward. I want whoever has seen them, please just, you took my baby away.
Less than 24 hours later, her prayers were answered. I spoke with her on the phone hours after KPRC2 got this exclusive video of Franklin Jose Pena Ramos and Johan Jose Rangel Martinez as they were both taken into custody.
It's been like an overwhelming relief to hear that they've been caught and they're off the streets, and it feels great that, everybody's been working so hard and so fast to get justice for my girl.
It appears Martinez changed his appearance. The surveillance photo HPD sent out earlier this week shows him in the white hat with a beard. During his arrest, he appears to no longer have facial hair.
Have you seen them before? I have never seen them before. I have no idea who they are. I think it was very cowardly of one of them to, try to alter his appearance to think that would make a difference. But the city of Houston is way stronger than these individuals, and we're going to give them what they deserve.
Neighbors at the Campfield Lake Apartments didn't seem to know much about the men. This neighbor asked to remain anonymous.
All I can say is they haven't been here long, maybe less than a month.
I knocked on the door where the men were believed to be staying, but no one answered. Now that they're in handcuffs, Nungaray says the journey to justice for Jocelyn is just beginning.
She doesn't have a voice no more, so I have to be her advocate and, have her be proud of me of how strong I'm being for her. I've always fought for her, and I will always fight for her.
And Alexis Nungaray tells me that she has no idea if her daughter knew the two men. Still a mystery there that's still being investigated, but just a heartbreaking way that she found out about her daughter's death. She told me that she had put her to bed around 10 o'clock that Sunday night.
On the timeline that I'm following, it said that she had snuck out of her home between 10 and midnight. And what I thought was interesting is the guy at the gas station said he works at the 7-Eleven, and he said he had recognized her. He was on a newscast. He was interviewed. He said that he had just gotten off when he noticed Jocelyn hiding behind a nearby storage unit around 11:30 p.m. He noticed police in the area but did not think anything was wrong. She's hiding behind the storage unit. I know what storage unit he's talking about. We saw it over and over again. It's right next door to that. But why was she? I don't know. I don't understand that. Oh, sorry. I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and I'm not sharing this stream. So here's the 7-Eleven. Here's the storage place. Now, in the videos that we saw of the street videos, These storage units right here, these are like, I thought they were garbage cans or something. I don't know if they're still there though. That might be what he's talking about. The other thing I noticed was that I didn't know yesterday or didn't pay attention to yesterday was that the lady who saw her body, she found her at like 6:15 a.m. and called it in. Well, she was driving by and she saw her and called it in. So it wasn't long. It wasn't long at all before she was found. Thank goodness. Also, apparently, she has a younger brother, a 5-year-old brother. So I didn't know that she'd had a sibling. And they said it also the family was having some financial struggles. So the way that everything sounds in here with the timeline, it seems that the mother might be a single parent. I don't know. All right, let's watch this other footage.
Police arrested 2 men in the murder of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray.
Both men are charged with capital murder. We're talking about 21-year-old Johan Jose Rangel Martinez and 26-year-old Franklin Jose Pena Ramos. Both roommates were arrested at their North Houston apartment this morning. Houston police holding a news conference just a couple of hours ago saying the men and Jocelyn were tracked to a bridge on West Rankin Road early Monday morning. And a few hours later, a woman found the girl's body in the bayou below. Police say she'd been strangled. At the news conference today, Houston Mayor John Whitmire joining police, arguing the two suspects should not be granted bail.
Yeah, well, and then if they are illegal immigrants, then that's another problem right there. At least maybe that'll help them to keep them detained. You know, one thing I said yesterday was that I thought that the taller guy was older than the shorter guy, but it looks like in that video we saw of them being the perp walks, it looked like the little guy was actually older than the other one. Martinez and Ramos. I'm not going to redo this because we just watched it. I do want to see this footage though.
HPD says they have ordered a rape kit as part of the investigation, but would not go into further details, only saying it was a horrible scene.
Trayson Bragg joins us live with more on what he's learned today. Hey, Trayson.
Hey, I'll tell you, we have been speaking to so many folks here in this community, and they are just shaken as more details are being released. Now, take a look behind me. That is a memorial to celebrate the life of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray. It stands not far from where her body was found this week. As you mentioned, we are now learning that Houston police say 2 men are responsible for her death. They say they are both facing capital murder. Both of those men were taken into custody this morning at an apartment complex less than a mile from here. Take a look at these photos that a resident of the Canfield Lakes apartments shared with us. They say it shows the moment the 2 men Houston police now say are responsible for 12-year-old Jocelyn's murder being taken into custody at the complex. This morning, our cameras caught HPD crime scene investigators hauling multiple evidence boxes from an apartment unit that police say the suspects, who are both in their 20s, were both living in. Now, we spoke to a mother who lives just steps from that unit with her 14-year-old daughter. She asked that we hide her identity, but she did not hide her feelings.
It could have been my child, you know, so I mean, it's just like, it's very emotional because when you're thinking, I live on the 3rd floor, these people are on the 2nd floor, you know.
Again, the 2 men, Johan Jose Rangel Martinez and Franklin Jose Pena Ramos, are facing capital murder charges. We're waiting to find out when they'll face a judge. Now, I have spoken to a member of Jocelyn's family. He tells me that right now the family is obviously grieving as they are preparing funeral arrangements. We will work to get you the very latest details out here, and we will share more of what people in this community are saying today coming up in the next hour. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Trayson. That investigation moving very quickly.
Yeah, I kind of thought it would, especially if these were the guys. They're not very bright, are they? Well, apparently they haven't been in the States long. This is the way we do things over here, fellas. Video camera. Oh, this trial is gonna be very controversial, especially if they're in the United States illegally.
She wakes up to find that her daughter's missing. So she gets in her car, starts driving around this area. She starts pinging her phone. And then when she pings her phone, it's to that creek behind us. And she sees a crime scene. And about an hour later, she finds out that her daughter had been strangled to death.
Yeah, I mean, she initially said that when she got to that scene, there was just the crime scene tape everywhere. She wasn't even able to get close. The police wouldn't tell her anything at first until she was taken downtown for questioning. And you can just imagine the heartbreak for that mother. You can hear the desperation in her voice.
And we were also talking to some family members too throughout the week that they were still holding on that maybe that wasn't her, maybe it wasn't true. And now they're just dealing with the unimaginable. And they say that they're going to be fighting for justice until they.
Bryce, Corley, thank you. We do want to ask you guys, though, this arrest came pretty quickly after those surveillance videos and pictures were released. Bryce, I'll ask you this. Are these suspects cooperating with police? Are they talking at all?
No, a choice.
According to the update we got from investigators earlier this afternoon, that is right. These suspects are cooperating. They've been in questioning today. Police tell us that they've actually been talking with them. But at this point, the suspects have not officially been booked into the Harris County Jail. That's one thing that we're still waiting for right now. That's when we'll get their mugshots. And then also any of the court documents. We haven't seen any of those.
Yeah,
and
those
of course,
have not come in yet.
That would be something that would provide a little more detail as to what happened or what investigators found in this.
Yeah, Bryce, this crime, it makes people angry. It makes you sad. It's just something that's had a lot of impact on our entire Houston area. Have you been able to talk to the folks in the neighborhood? What kind of impact has it had there? Are parents, even kids, angry, upset, afraid?
Yeah, we have talked to a lot of people in this neighborhood, and a lot of the people that I've spoken with are parents, and they say this hits close to home because they have young ones around Jocelyn's age, and they're hugging them a little bit tighter tonight because of what's happened, and they just can't imagine what her mother might be going through. And I will say this too, a lot of people have been staying vigilant. They've been keeping an eye out for those two men. There's a lot of regulars in this area. It's very walkable. There's convenience stores and restaurants that people go to. And, we actually spoke to a lot of witnesses too that actually saw Jocelyn and the two men that night, moments before she was killed. And they actually told me that she didn't appear to be in danger. She didn't look like she was in distress, that she was with people that she didn't know. So they didn't think anything of it. They didn't know that she might be in trouble. So that is definitely disheartening to hear because they look back now thinking, if I knew, I would have said something. I would have called police. So it's just a matter of a reminder to stay vigilant. If you see something, even if it's late at night, you see a young person out and they're with adults and you don't know if they know each other, maybe question them or ask them questions about where they are just to make sure that they're safe.
I just spoke with that gas station clerk who told us earlier in the week that she was a regular. I showed him the pictures of them being taken into custody, and it was a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, community definitely ended up coming together on this, but man, our thoughts and prayers are with that mother and that entire family and that neighborhood. All right, Corley, Bryce, thank you so much. And community, we certainly want you all to know that we have resources on how to talk to your kids about this horrific story. Plus,
Well, I guess that's all we can really look at for now. What I'm going to do is go ahead and play what I had pre-recorded that was supposed to go up yesterday before they were captured and never made it, thanks to YouTube. So here we go.
Go over with you guys a bunch of cases around children. It's not good. I wanted to start with this one about the 12-year-old in Houston. This is just really, really sad.
They did interview her mom. We'll watch this really quick.
This afternoon, we are hearing from the family of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray. She was found dead in a bayou earlier this week.
Yeah, this comes as police continue searching for the people responsible. Victor Jacobo joins us live from near where Jocelyn's body was found. And Victor, I understand you spoke with Jocelyn's mother this afternoon. How is she doing?
Yeah, that's right. Alexis Nungaray, the mother of Jocelyn, says she is devastated, but she is praying for justice. However, at this time, right now, what exactly happened to Jocelyn remains a mystery both to her mother, and to police. What we do know from police is this: investigators are looking for these persons of interest. Police suspect foul play, as they say Jocelyn died of strangulation. Her body was found in a bayou near the 400 block of Rankin Road early Monday. Jocelyn's mother speaking with us this afternoon, saying she looked for Jocelyn Monday morning but couldn't find her, only to have Jocelyn's phone located in the area where her body was found. She says she has no idea who Jocelyn could have been interacting with, but that her heart is broken.
I'm like angry that they took advantage of her. She's so young. She's 12. You took my baby away. Now I get to let her brother know her sister is never coming home.
Now, Alexis, who you just heard from there, the mother of Jocelyn, says she hasn't gotten any more updates from investigators today about what has happened or what the status of the investigation is, but she says she is blown away by the support of friends, family, and the community following this tragedy.
Okay, I want to find more on this because I want to know. I wanted to watch the whole presser. This happened, well, it's like most of these. I think they found her 2 days ago.
And tonight we're learning more about the timeline leading up to the discovery of that 12-year-old girl's body. HPD said that she was discovered in a North Houston creek around 6 o'clock yesterday morning.
Police believe she was murdered after she snuck out of her apartment off Rankin Road the night before. No arrests have been made so far. And KPRC2's Corley Peel joining us now live from Rankin Road and Northborough Drive, where the timeline ended. Corley.
Yeah, the woman is shaken up after she found the 12-year-old girl's body here at this creek. And today we've learned about a phone call the girl had before her body was found. Driving past this creek off Rankin Road Monday morning, Billie Jean Jackson couldn't believe what she saw.
I had dropped my husband at work and I was going home, and I was just driving, and habit of, he says, watch the water rise, you can look at the creeks. And so I just happened to look, and she was there. I thought it was a mannequin.
Jackson immediately called 911. She learned the 12-year-old girl she found was murdered. What was going through your mind when you saw that?
How can somebody do this? How can somebody leave someone laying there? It's not something you expect to see anywhere.
Mayor John Whitmire spoke during City Council on Tuesday.
I wanted to hear the full press conference. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, I found the press conference. Let's watch.
We're here to share some very horrible news. Someone has taken one of our innocent children from us today, a 12-year-old little girl. Found her this morning, and we believe somebody did this horrible thing to her, and we are here to ask for your help to find out if anybody knows anything, anybody saw anything, and anybody can share that information so we can figure out what happened to her exactly, and we can find whoever did this and get them off the street. I have talked to this child's mother, and of course she is devastated. Her family is devastated. Her little girl is gone. So we need your help. I'm going to turn it over to the mayor, and then I'm going to turn it over from there to Lieutenant Stephen Hope and our homicide division to give you more details. But again, we are asking for your help. Mayor.
Thank you, Chief Satterwhite. I echo the chief's words of asking Houstonians to help us find the murderer of this 12-year-old little girl found in one of our neighborhoods. I've spoken to her. She's devastated, actually holding out hope that it's not her daughter, which I'll let the lieutenant address the circumstances. I will say it makes me angry that we have dangerous criminals on the streets of Houston. Too often we rearrest repeat violent offenders. but we won't rest. And this is an example of why public safety will continue to be our highest priority in my administration and working with HPD. Toughest thing I will ever do as a mayor is call up the victim's mother and assure her that HPD, its rank and file, its leadership, the city's doing everything they can to find the perpetrator of this heinous crime. Horrible. As a parent, a grandfather, it's just unimaginable what the family's going through. I spoke with her. She's devastated. And all you can do is depend on your faith and let the police do their work and have someone arrested as soon as possible. I could another day I'll talk about why we need additional staffing and the issue of the repeat violent offenders. But today we're focused on this investigation, and I yield to Lieutenant Hope.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here this evening. I'm Lieutenant Hope with the Houston Police Department's Homicide Division. I'm here to talk to you about an incident that happened around 6 a.m. this morning. Citizen called 911 regarding a body seen in the shallow water of the bayou near 400 West Rankin Road in the Houston's North Belt area. The Homicide Division, along with the assistance of the Houston Department's dive team and the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office, were able to recover that body out of the shallow water there. Harris County's Medical Examiner's Office is completing an official identification of the victim, but we do have reason to believe that it's going to be a 12-year-old female that was snuck out of her residence late last night and eventually ended up in that waterway at 400 West Rankin Road. We're investigating the circumstances surrounding her leaving the residence and ending up being discovered there deceased. There is surveillance video, and the detectives are working diligently to follow up on the leads that they do have currently. But we are asking that anyone with any knowledge of this incident or any information surrounding this incident, please call and help our investigators find the perpetrator of this incident. They can contact the Houston Police Department's Homicide Division at 713-308-3600, or they can call anonymously to the Houston Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS, 713-222-8477. Thank you again, and please help us out. Any questions?
Sorry, we're not identifying the girl at this point. I just think it might help with tips, people non-relevant information about her.
Right. So the juvenile victim in this case, we're not going to be releasing the name until the official identification of the victim, and even then, circumstances surrounding this case might prevent us from doing so.
Can you tell us, you gave us the area where she was found, if people were out in an area between, where did she leave from and what general geography?
So she left an apartment complex actually pretty close to Rankin Road at the evening there, and she was found in the small waterway bayou right next to Rankin Road.
And what time do you think she left?
Anytime last night, a little bit after 10, anytime after 10 p.m.
Do we think the location where the body was discovered was the location that she was killed?
So the actual circumstances surrounding what her body's location was is still under investigation, and you can imagine with all the forensic evidence that would be needed, that's going to be taking quite a bit of time, and this is a very new scene. So we're not going to assume one way or the other just yet.
So what condition was the body found in?
Deceased.
Right, but how do we know, were there injuries?
So the actual nature of how her body was found is something that is under investigation. The medical examiner's office is going to be doing a very thorough look into it forensically, and that does take a lot of time. I don't want to speak ahead of what they're going to be finding or have.
I guess help people with tips if they knew how this young lady died.
It could, however, again, I don't want to step in front of what the medical examiner's office has to offer for us.
You said a dive team was called, but were they needed or was this?
So anytime a body is found in waterway, we will call for the dive team. This was shallow water, but it is their expertise to be able to go in and make sure that not only the body, but any other evidence in that waterway would be found.
You said this young girl snuck out of her house. I guess what do you mean by that? Was she communicating with someone online, to your knowledge?
So right now we have looking into whatever communications that could have happened. We're not sure how that was, but we have reason to believe that the family did not know that she was leaving the house. Correct.
And we're, saying
murder here. We're saying homicide. Can you elaborate on why we think foul play?
So 12-year-old found in a waterway near the residence where she lives is in and of itself very suspicious. And that's why we're kind of asking for people's help in this one. We, like I said, we're leaving that up to whatever information we can get in. Anything would be helpful to us.
Chief or Mayor, can you talk about the resources that are deployed, or sort of, the number of people investigating this?
So the medical examiner's office has several people that came out and went around for forensic analysis. We did have our CSU team out there. We have our homicide detectives working on it as well. So there's several entities that are working together in facet with this.
Was the body found fully clothed?
So the actual nature of the body and the way she was is under investigation. We're still looking into how she was found.
Can you say how far the body was found from her residence?
I do not know the exact distance, but it actually was very close.
So it would be walkable.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any reason to believe that she got into a vehicle at any time? There might be a vehicle.
Do not know yet.
Are there any leads on any suspects as of this time?
So right now, we're still, like I said, we're still looking into communications that were there and any other information that we could find from it. There is surveillance video that we're reviewing as well. So any information from the public, any other information that anyone could help would be really, really helpful.
And she was never reported missing. She left.
She was not reported missing, no.
Race?
As white female. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, I just wanted to hear the investigator on that. You guys, the medical examiner confirmed that she was assaulted sexually. And I want to share with you guys the photos that they've come up with from the convenience store. Oh, so he was walking beside her. Okay, but that doesn't mean it. Well, okay, first of all, I want to say that she could have also been picked up on the side of the road by a car. So she go to call her boyfriend. Let me go back to that. So they did interact with her. And I also think, okay, so if these guys were walking and they didn't have a vehicle, then is it possible, if these are the suspects, and I'm not saying they are, let's say allegedly that they are, if they were walking and didn't have a vehicle with them, and then she ends up close to, that's because that's the part I wanted to know, how far. I kind of would love to see a map between where she was found versus where this convenience store is versus where her home is. This could be what literally looks like a crime of opportunity for these two guys, if this is them that did it. And again, we don't know if it was. It could have been a vehicle pulls up and snags her, pulls over. But if this is them, I have a feeling that they should be able to crack this pretty quickly. Somebody's going to identify these guys. These are just still photos. So strangled. They have also confirmed that she was strangled and sexually assaulted. If you have information about this, anyone, if you're out there and you're in the Houston area, HPD Homicide Division is 713-308-3600. Or you can call in anonymously to Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS. TIPS. The 4400 block of West Rankin Road is where they're saying that she was found. So hang on just a minute. Let me see if I can find that. So if you're at the 4400 block of West Rankin Road, you've got a Coastal Food Mart here, and you've got a 7-Eleven here, which is 0.4 miles away. It's also 0.4 miles. This is a street view. Oh, look, there's an apartment complex right there. Okay, that makes sense. So it could have been either one of these. If that's the apartment complex she lived in. And I bet it is. So, like, if you're by yourself and you're sneaking out, I could see that it would be easy for her to, if she lived right there, to come to one of these convenience stores. And if it were me, I would pick this one because it looks better. It looks newer, nicer. Let's see. They showed her walking along like a thingy like this. Let's go over here real quick. Maybe it was this one. This is Rankin Road. Let's see if we can see anything where a creek would be. Or, you know, that little overpass that they showed where she was found. It seems like a long distance right here. Is this it? I bet this is it. Yeah. This is where she would have been found. Now that being said, there's a convenience store even closer, which is right here. This looks like it would be more the area. All right, if there's a convenience store right here, I want to know where an apartment complex could have been close enough for a little girl to walk right here. Now, not to say that you know, she was found right here. This is the correct overpass, which it looks like it based upon what they showed on the news. That might not be it, though, you know? Let me try one more thing here. Okay. So if I Google nearby apartment complexes, there's a couple that come up close to West Rankin Road because remember she's on foot, so she's not going to walk that far. What's weird is that this little creek isn't coming up, but I guess it's Kai Kendall. There it is. Okay. All right. So where we're at right here, let me show you this overview map. You're here. Okay. At the corner of Rankin and this, I can't pronounce the word of the street, name of the street. If this is the one. Now, if you look for apartment complexes in this area, because I'm just thinking she's not going to be able to walk, or she wouldn't walk that far, especially being by herself. I don't care how, it's just, girls just don't do that by themselves usually. There's a skate park right here, though. That's interesting. Place where kids would hang out. There's apartment complexes here. But then I also noticed there's an apartment complex here. I don't know which one. It could be any of these. But the fact that there's a skate park here makes me seem like, okay, if I'm a kid and maybe I'm used to going to that skate park, right? Let's just say. That's familiar territory to me. So it's not going to be anything for me to, if I've walked it during the day, to walk it at night. And with there being a 7-Eleven on the corner over here, it's a possibility. Now let's go back to this picture. Oh, we don't have time for it right now, Bruiser. We're in the middle of a crime. Look down here. We're trying to figure this out. If I look here, skate park is like, where's the skate park? Is this the skate park? Yeah, this looks to be the skate park. Right there. But still, I don't know. I mean, you are talking about a well-lit area. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring you guys down a rabbit hole. I was just trying to figure out if these guys were on foot, which, I mean, we don't know if they were. They could have been parked. I feel like that's not the intersection. I feel like it's the first one we were on. In my gut, I feel like it's this intersection. Because you have an apartment complex right back here, possibly some back here. When we were looking at those photos, I was just wondering, in these photos, it doesn't really, black poles outside of it. There's black parking poles or whatever right outside, which those are blue. It's not this one, I don't think. They have little advertisements around them. Well, they do in these photos. They don't have to have it. They had a lot of crap on their door, too. I'm looking at this photo. I'm thinking, okay, there doesn't seem to, if there's a small step down right there, but then it goes like, there's two little parking poles right there. I don't see, of course, that photo is really close up. And then I look back over here at this photo. It could be this one. They got junk all over their door, though. And it's black. The doors are black. It's not this one. The doors are, it's got to be this one. Oh, crap. I lost my spot. Hang on. There it is. It's probably very well lit, but this one's blue. See? So it might not be this one. Okay, this is the corner we were just at. So from there to there, this is the area that we looked at. That's the one we were looking at there. This one has black. Okay. This one has black poles. It's a raceway. But the doors are different. That's not it. Because those pictures going back, see, it's the, I could be wrong though. So she's walking right along the front of it. See, it looks like they work together there. It looks like they could have just hit the door at the same time together. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they just happen to walk in at the same time. But then that other picture shows them walking with kind of walking side by side in the same direction. So it looks a little, I don't know. It looks a little different. I'm sorry, I'm not showing this tab. I'm just going on and on. I mean, you could speculate all day long here. I don't think it's this one. I was trying to find this door, but it's just impossible. There's too many, and this could take all day. And I don't like to sleuth like this. Bruiser's upset about the sleuthing too. Well, if any of these people look familiar to you, please report it to Crime Stoppers. You can call in anonymously. Okay, whoa, stop. Hang on. I might have just solved my questions right here. I haven't solved anything. Let's be real. What is that right there? What is that? That's the convenience store. That's where we just were looking. We were at the right lake, you guys. We were at the right area. That 7-Eleven next to the skate park. This is it right here. Based upon where all the vehicles were, right? So this is where she was found, right here in this creek somewhere. So they probably just threw her off the side. Closest convenience store is, there you have a storage unit place. Is this 7-Eleven with black poles on the outside? This is it. This is the convenience store where they took the... Now, we don't know if these are still there because this was taken in August of 2022, these photos. So this is probably gone. There's the skate park across the street. So see, that makes sense that she would be comfortable with this convenience store probably because of the being at the skate park. Now, if I pull out here, there's an apartment complex right there. Look up apartment complex. from where we just were. At this intersection right here. This is the area. Oh, they're all around here. The red marks are apartment complexes. If I was a little girl and I wanted to sneak out, I at nighttime it would have to be well lit for me to walk down that area. I wouldn't walk through that area in the dark. That's me anyway. I would think that that's not too far on foot, especially if you're. Let's look at this. Are we talking about a well-lit area? Sago Palms Apartments right here. And it looked like the park was closed off pretty well. It was fenced off, and they probably closed it up at night. So I don't know. That's pretty brave of her. I want to see something though. This skate park. Okay. It is fenced off at night, but the parking lot is not. So if you're a bunch of teenagers that hangs out at that park, where are you going to hang out when that's all closed up? You're going to hang out at the parking lot. Possibly that's why she's so comfortable. You've got plenty of street lights over here. And if you're walking it, that is not far at all. I just went the wrong way. So yeah, I could see it. You'd see the skate park with all the lighting in it. It's just adjacent to this 7-Eleven right here. So she felt comfortable with the area. That was just something that I needed to know. That needed to be, that was important to me, I guess. I was something that needed to be. That was important to me. Now she was found this way. Creek. Right here. Okay, so adjacent, there's the park right there. Somebody in that skate park knows something. You know, she could have easily come across these guys and known them from the skate park and felt comfortable with them because of that she'd seen them there, several times. You get comfortable with someone, you're like, oh, this isn't just a stranger. I know them from the skate park. I feel like whoever did this on foot. Like, it makes sense that they were on foot and not in a car. Because let's think about this from this standpoint. If you abduct somebody and you're in a car, you're going to drive away from the abduction site, right? You're going to get the heck away from there. If you're going to dump the body at the same place where you abducted it, and you're running away, You're within, it's all in close proximity. So it makes sense that they were on foot. So were these guys on foot or were they in a car that she's walking next to at the convenience store? Did they live in an apartment complex nearby as well? Maybe not even the same one. But yeah, it makes sense that it was somebody out walking that night. Which opens up your suspects to underage people who do not drive. It could have been one of the boys that she hung out with at the park, younger kids. It could have been the ex-boyfriend. I don't know. We don't know. A friend of his. So you're talking about a huge pool of suspects. I guess that's where I'm coming from in this situation is I'm just thinking that because of where this is, it's well known to teens. Yeah. And it would make sense that they're going to do this and dump her right there where. Just thinking if you're walking off with her. There's an apartment complex right there, y'all. And there's that other road. So look at this. This looks like a trail, right? Kind of a trail. So all this over here are apartments. So if she did live over here, let's say it's dark at night. There's no lights right here in this area. Let's say it was those guys, right? And she's like, all right, good night, I'm headed home. And they see her walking into the dark. Maybe they follow her a little ways, realize that she's completely in the dark, do what they got to do. And then that's it. She ends up over there. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I don't know that. I'm just throwing out scenarios. I'm invested in this now. I want to know more. I definitely want to know who these guys were. But see this guy right here wearing his little fanny pack thingy. He seems to be like, what, 20s? In his mid to late 20s. Am I right? I could be wrong. The other guy with him. The other guy with him looks like he's dressed younger. His hat, look at his hat. His hat's up high. Like the way he wears his hat. To me, it says he's younger or trying to be younger. He looks older than the other one. But I don't know.
Not far from actually where she lived. Here for a second. Get a good look at your TV. Just stop what you're doing here for a second. Houston police say they are persons of interest, these people on your screen here, in the death of a 12-year-old girl near West Rankin Road. Investigators say the girl was strangled to death in this case. Sadly, her body turning up in a creek not far from actually where she lived.
Absolutely a heartbreaking situation. Let's check in with Chelsea Edwards, who's in our newsroom, with how you can help in this ongoing investigation. Chelsea.
Melissa DeLon, the young girl's parents told police they did not know their 12-year-old daughter snuck out of the house Sunday night. Now they are devastated that their little girl is gone. The Houston Police Department released these pictures, once again, of two male persons of of interest. That's what they're calling them. They were seen at a convenience store, both wearing baseball caps. Investigators believe the girl snuck out of her home around 10 p.m. on Sunday. Sources also tell Fox 26 they saw the girl at the convenience store, and later 2 men walked in. The girl was there talking to her 13-year-old boyfriend on the phone around midnight. The boyfriend told investigators he heard her talking to 2 adults. Then, Monday morning, the girl's body was found in a creek at 400 West Rankin Road. That's near the North Freeway, just walking distance from where she lives. Her cause of death has been ruled as strangulation. Here's Houston Mayor John Whitmire reacting to the disturbed details of this case.
Okay, let's move on. I could sit here forever and sleuth with you guys. Meet the sleuther. Okay. So I just wanted to, I guess, put all that together in one piece instead of doing it in 2 pieces, because at this point, that older video, although we're still, trying to figure out what happened exactly, it kind of, it needed to be last. It needed to be behind the other one. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to really stay on top of this because I think this is going to be an interesting to see what happens in the court systems with this. Let's hope these guys are not able to get out on bail. If they probably don't have, if they're young, they probably don't have a lot of money. And how does, it did take them a while, because right now, as I'm recording this, they still have not had, their mugshots are not up yet. It just seems to me, is that because ICE is involved? Is it because of the immigration status? It could be. That could be why. Thank you for watching, everyone. I apologize that some of this was kind of slow. Sometimes I like to go down the rabbit holes. Sometimes not so much. But today was one of those days. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and feel free to leave a comment. Have a blessed day.